This is Colton's story, part 3. It's important to note that when I was running this photography franchise, I was actually trying to quit because I didn't want to work that hard, 80 hours a week, talking 300 people plus a day. So actually, I saved up like $10,000 or $12,000, and then I made my first $7 online. Then I was like, yo, peace out, business partner, I'm out, dude. And he's like, you'll be back. Like, nah, dude, I got the most amount of money I've ever had. Well, fast forward 6 months, and I had to start driving Uber, but I was stubborn. I was like, I'm not going back. But if I would have known what I know now, I wouldn't have had to go back. But the most important part is I started dating somebody in this time, and I really, really liked this girl. Because I had been dating in the past, I was like, you know what, I'm trying to get serious. Let me go read some relationship books. And they were like, hey, so what you want to do is write down all of the qualities that you want in the person that you want. So I did that. And then they throw a twist and they're like, hey, do you have all these qualities? It's not fair for you to ask someone to have all these qualities if you don't have them. Then I was like, fuck, all right, time to work on myself. In the meantime of me doing this, I found this girl that kind of checked all my boxes. We started dating. And then in this meantime, I started this MLM company, and I was selling that in my Uber. So you got in my Uber and they're like, oh, what else do you do? And I was like, oh, thanks for asking. And then I'd go into my pitch and I'd make sales while I'm driving people in my Uber. Okay, lo and behold, I end up having to go back to selling pictures in the malls because that's the only way that I could be making enough money to pay for rent, car, and everything else. Uber just paid for my truck. And I'm still dating this girl at the time. Her and I end up moving in together. Then, 2 years later, we end up going to Cancun, and I popped the question. Yay, together. Now, during COVID, that time, the malls were shut down, so I had to figure something else out. Well, I had to live off credit cards for like 6 months or so. Then they came out with that unemployment for business owners, which I was able to apply for, and that saved my ass for a little while. Then that dried up, and I went and found a security job working downtown 16th Street Mall in Denver with people threatening to kill me. That's a whole nother story. We got people whipping other people with tent antennas and stuff. It's crazy. I was like, you ain't paying me enough for this bullshit. So I went and started selling cars, and cars was doing good. I could sell cars, but the problem was the managers didn't give a shit about any of the customers. And it was very clear after I actually started making money that they didn't give two shits about people. That's hard for me to get over. So then when I'm at work, I end up making my very first agency sale where someone started paying me and my business partner 10 grand a month to start doing their advertising. Then I started making good money and I left the car sale. I must have got complacent because this is when one day my fiance comes home and says, this isn't working. It's time to go the other way. I'm out of time. Comment part 4.